Welcome to Age of Cinema.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Strickland.
Hi, I'm...
The other one.
Yeah.
The young one. It's your turn.
I need an old reviewer and a young reviewer.
Yeah, that was the last movie.
I know, but I'm still scarred from it. Still scarred from The Exorcist.
So we're now on Shay's turn.
It's my turns. I am invoking a right. I might take 2 turns. Or I might skip my second turn so that I can have Halloween. Because I'm going to make you either watch Hocus Pocus or The Love Witch. I haven't decided yet. One is far more iconic than the other, but one's going to be really fun to watch his reaction to it. But we're not watching either one of those right now. Instead, we're watching something just as witchy and pretty wholesome. But maybe, like, I have a feeling like in 10 years, it's going to be probably deemed problematic. But I like it. It is The Divine Secrets of the Yaya Sisterhood.
Which I have obviously never seen.
You know, you say obviously, like...
Because we're doing an episode of Age of Cinema. That's
True.
why it's obvious.
But the way you say it, it's like, oh, it's a chick flick. Like,
No, I mean, obviously, because we're here, and it's Age of Cinema,
Valid.
and it's your pick. Obviously, I have never seen it.
Valid.
I've seen a lot of movies that fall into the stereotypical chick flick genre, many of which I actually very much enjoy. So I don't have a negative stigma against the genre in general. I know nothing about this movie. I've heard the title. That's it. And I know Sandra Bullock's in it because you mentioned it before we started filming.
A lot of great actresses are in this. Dame Maggie Smith is in it. Professor McGonagall is in this movie, and she is delightful.
Is she one of the Yaya sisters?
She is one of the Yayas.
So this is in the Harry Potter verse, is what I'm hearing. Because
Yep.
you said Professor McGonagall's in this. So
Yeah, this is...
canon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure they all went to Ilvermorny. Which, by the way, J.K. Rowling, please stop. Please, whatever you're doing right now, just stop it. Stop it. Anyway.
We're not going to shoot us actually watching the movie because we've had enough headaches already.
Yeah.
With, copyright notices and things like that.
Yeah.
But we figured we'd shoot this segment before we watched the film, and then we'll shoot a segment after we've watched it to have a discussion about what we thought of the movie, what I thought of, and what you can talk more about why you wanted to pick this movie in particular.
Yeah. Plus, it'll probably like save on the memory card, which is very good.
Yeah, not to mention the battery. But there's something else we have to deal with before we get into watching the movie.
So I'm going to explain a little bit. This movie, for anyone that has never seen Divine Secrets of the Yaya Sisterhood, this is a very, it falls into my genre that I like, kind of like those southern witchy chick flicks. And it's set in Louisiana. And they all very much kind of have like a Cajun sort of influence. And so our snack today is beignets. And they are so sugary. But I am looking forward to Jonathan watching this movie because, I mean, it's more of a character study than an actual story. Like, there's a definite story. The plot, it's all a character study because all the plots can be deemed as subplots. Like, there's a subplot about the mom, her birthday, and there's a subplot about, like, Sandra Bullock dragging her feet when it comes to marrying her fiancé. But, like, everything else is just purely a character study of, like, the mother and daughter characters. But...
Any other spoilers you want to drop?
Oh, come on! He's the type of person that would he won't even read the back of like a DVD cover because he'll claim that's too much of a spoiler. He needs to go into a movie completely blind.
I don't even like knowing what title it is. I'll tell you what, how about we put this on pause?
Yes.
We watch the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then we reconvene to talk about my reaction to this cinematic masterpiece.
Yay! And let's eat some beignets. I think you just want to stop the camera so that we can eat the beignets.
I really just want to. I've been smelling those beignets for like 20 minutes, and I desperately want to bite into one.
Okay, let's eat some beignets.
All right.
We'll see you guys in about 2 freaking hours.
Yep.
It's a long movie. All right. The beignets were yummy.
They were.
The beignets were very yummy.
I made them about 2 hours ago.
Yeah. And apparently we hadn't washed our faces. Wiped off the sugar.
We didn't just shove powdered sugar on our face for a gag that you may or may not be able to see. We don't know until we review the footage.
Yeah, we're so good at this.
Mm-hmm.
We're so good at this.
So we just finished watching
Divine Secrets of the Yaya Sisterhood.
Yep.
This was my millionth time watching it and crying. This was your first time watching it. Did you cry?
No.
Not dumpling? It didn't dumpling you?
I mean, I certainly felt that there were parts that were heartwarming.
Yeah.
I think there wasn't quite enough good to redeem the bad. Like, in the sense of good things that happen to characters to redeem the bad things that have happened in the past.
Okay.
Like, so, let me explain my take on what this story
Well,
is.
let's explain the story.
That's what I said. I'm going to take my take of what the story is.
All
All right. So you have these 4 friends. They've been friends since they were little girls in the late 30s.
Yeah.
And the movie goes back and forth between flashbacks to their lives as well as the lives, really the life of the eldest daughter of one of the 4.
Yeah, like the leader of the group, her oldest
Sid.
daughter, Siddalee.
Yeah, I'm just going to call her Sid.
Or Sidda. They called her Sidda.
Or I'm just going to call her Sid. Sid, played by Sandra Bullock. And she did a great job. First of all, let me get this out of the way first.
All right.
Let me wait for that to finish.
That's where I live.
So, first things first, the acting in this film is fantastic across the board.
Oh.
Everyone did a really good job. The acting is actually quite good. As I was watching it, I was thinking, this is a very well-made movie. The characters were interesting. The dialogue is interesting. It feels weird to even critique it at all because it's well done. As I watched it, I thought, this is entertaining. I am interested in these characters, some of whom are definitely larger than life, many of whom are larger than life. The movie essentially opens with Sid giving an interview as a play that she has written is about to open up on Broadway. And in the interview, she reveals that she had a very tough childhood, that her mother was at times cold and other times outright abusive toward her.
And her father was distant.
And her mother reads the article and then totally flips her lid. And then the rest of the movie is essentially the other 3 members of this 4-woman group.
The Yayas.
The Yayas that formed back in the 30s. The other 3 members are trying to mend fences between the mother and the daughter. And because the daughter is in many ways like the mother, and because both of them are very dramatic and they take things very personally, they both react about as poorly as they possibly can to the publication of this article. Mm-hmm. And Sid herself says, as she reads the article, that it's coming across way worse than the way she intended, and she knows, she already can tell what's going to happen.
Yeah, and she didn't mean to say the things. Like the writer, the interviewer kind of drummed it up a bit.
Yeah. And then the Yayas end up coming to New York, drugging with roofies.
Yeah.
Sid.
That didn't age well.
Then putting Sid on, and they even mentioned that it's the date rape drug.
Yeah, they say that.
They put Sid on a plane. You don't see any of this because she just wakes up back in Louisiana. But
yeah.
they with the, if not outright cooperation, with the lack of resistance from her fiance.
Yeah.
Who is also wanting to see Sid and her mom reconcile. And then when she goes back to Louisiana, they essentially put before her a giant scrapbook album of the Yayas.
Mm-hmm. Like their whole lives.
In an effort to give Sid a deeper understanding of her mother so that perhaps Sid can understand why her mother was the way she was and perhaps come to some sort of reconciliation, because they see that Vivian is it Vivian? Viviana?
Or it's Vivian, but
Vivian.
they're all very southern, so they say Vivian.
So Vivian,
Yeah.
they see that it's killing her too.
Mm-hmm.
So they're mostly doing it for their friend Vivian, but they also don't want to see Sid be unhappy either. And of course, things escalate through the film. I would argue that a lot of the insight that Sid gets to her mom is immaterial in the long term, because it turns out that the big thing that is the gap between them is the thing that takes up the last 20 minutes of the film. The final conversation between mother and daughter, because of course they reconcile.
Because
of course they do.
What I love about this movie is that you never see Sandra Bullock and Ellen Burstyn together
until the very end,
which is powerful.
After both characters have worked through their initial reactions of feeling like they've been betrayed and like they've been attacked.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like maybe that conversation needed to have a little bit more in it, something else in it, because
we complained about the length the entire time, and I wanted it to be longer.
Well, I think if either the mother had gone along
mm-hmm.
and she had been part of that final conversation, which then would lead into the reconciliation, that would have helped me a little bit more with the story. Or if there had been a little more of that conversation leading into that final, until that final scene, essentially. I mean, it wasn't bad. It wasn't, like I am critiquing in that I am taking a very fine point on this particular bit. It just didn't quite work for me as much as it should have. That being said, again, I think the movie is great. I really do think it's a good movie. It's
sad.
It is very sad. It's very sad and sweet. It's just, and honestly, I'm not saying I could do this better. I definitely could not. It was one of those things where a lot of movies where you have a big emotional reconciliation scene,
mm-hmm.
there are very few of those in movies that I feel were earned.
Good point. Counterpoint. Sita, in her mind, I'm still covered in powdered sugar. Oh my god. Sita, in her mind, he's going to eat all the powdered sugar now, believes that her mom just snapped one day. Like, she thinks that her mom just hated her and hated her family and would just keep drinking. And one day she snapped and then disappeared. And she just ran away. And in her... I love that he takes my opinions on movies so seriously. But in her mind, that's just how Vivian is. And if Vivian can be like that, then she'll be like that. She doesn't really get that there were extenuating circumstances as to why Vivian was the way she was, that Vivian was trying to seek help. I'm going to take myself out of this. When somebody might be fighting with a parental figure, and, you know, it's really easy to throw out things like, well, you ruined my life, you ruined my childhood, and then it's usually very apropos of the parental figure to say something of the like of, well, when you're a parent, you just do the best you can. And this is a very good representation of a mother, not a good mother, like she's not a perfect mother, but a mother simply trying to break the cycle of her bad parenting and just trying to move on. Because she also, like, lost her first love to war, like, you know, trying to deal with bad parents and trying to deal with losing her first love and just trying to be as good of a wife and of a mother as she can be while still dealing with mental health, with a crippling, you know, mental health issues in a time period where nobody understood what mental health really entailed.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very good point. Yeah.